episode of Southern Hang. I'm joined by, well, this time, two friends from college, two of my friends from college.
Two times.
Got Craig Cotton, Sherman Brown. Redmond couldn't join us this week. I'm Neil Wilding, and welcome to Southern Hang. Those of you that listen to us, you know that, especially when I've got the mic, we go down the music corridor quite a bit. And when you're talking music, there's really nothing like being able to say, like when you hear a band mentioned or an artist mentioned, yeah, I saw them in concert. Oh, I saw them live. To me, there's nothing like talking about the special memories that we've made seeing various bands or artists live in concert. And I believe I've also mentioned on the show that I spend a fair amount of time on the app formerly known as Twitter, but I've programmed the algorithm to where it's really just music. And I noticed a little bit ago there was this hashtag that was trending that was called Saw It Live. And it was really just a prompt to get people doing what I was just saying, just talking live music, talking concerts, whether it's small, intimate acoustic shows, whether it's live bands, as loud as it can be, whether it's arenas, festivals, whatever. We figured that's what we would spend the next 45 minutes or so here on Southern Hang. So Cotton and Sherm, what do you think? Y'all want to talk concerts?
I was glad you clarified the hashtag because I was afraid it was that Saw the movie stuff with people cutting things, and you're like, we saw it, and it was a Saw, and we're gonna cut somebody live, and I'm like, that's scary stuff. I don't do scary stuff. So once you clarified what that meant, then I was like, yes, I'm in. I can do the live concert reflection. Hell yeah.
Well, the movies, that's Red's specialty. So he's not here. So I got the mic. We're doing music.
Yeah, very good. I'm in.
I don't think Red's in on horror film though. I don't think that's like his genre either, especially live.
Yeah,
that's a whole other
scary stuff.
That's not even movies.
That's true. And
he's off hitting a white golf ball somewhere with a bunch of fellas, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, all right. But probably not seeing live music on this while he's gone. But he will be missed. He will be missed this episode.
Absolutely.
So so shout out to the X or Twitter community that have been posting every day to the hashtag Saw It Live. The way those things work, somebody just starts it, and and the world picks up, and they've been posting every day some sort of different memory. It started with like, okay, everybody post your first concert. Yeah. So I don't know. We might have talked about this on the show before, but I think this is worth revisiting.
Oh yeah.
Cotton, what about you? What was your first show?
Well, mine is what I was told. I have no memory, but I have pictures. I've got the concert poster. But Willie Nelson, 3 years old, in the original Gillies. So that is my first official show, with mom and dad. So
Sonia.
that was with mom and in the original Gillies before it burned and saw Willie. So there are pictures. There is a concert poster, but unfortunately I didn't hashtag or tweet about it back then. Or
so, you're saving up for it though.
Yeah. And knowing my oldness, I am 53, so that was 50 years ago seeing Willie.
And he's still kicking it, man.
He's still kicking it, man. And I've seen him a few times since then. I've got to meet him twice, and that was badass. And I've seen him, I don't know. I think part of this deal, Saw It Live, don't they talk about like who's you've seen the most?
Yes. Yeah.
He's probably up there for me. He's probably, I'd say under 10, but over 5, somewhere in that region, somewhere around the 8s, but I've seen him quite a few times.
I saw Willie at, he does 4th of July picnic.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it was one year they did it at like an amphitheater. They had to, for some reason, and it was him and Pat Green and all the Texas legends, man. It was cool. And in fact, I went to that pretty early. I had moved to Texas and wasn't quite sure whether I was going to do this whole country Americana thing. And I went to that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I am in. You know, it had all the legends there. It was great. Sherm,
I see that. Go ahead, Sherm. Sorry.
I saw him just for the first time just 2 years ago, and I think I told you all that up in whatever Riverbend is called now, up in Cincinnati. But with Dylan, Bob Dylan, and just an amazing show.
Oh yeah, yeah. I want to go to that 4th show down in Austin. Like every year, I look it up. He still does it, but it's tough to get me pulled away from. That's a big lake weekend for me, so I'm usually floating on the pontoon and listening to Willie, but can't get myself to. I want to go back down there and see that show. Probably need to sacrifice before it's too late. But
Willie's his recent. I saw his a poster or like a list of his live events, and it caught my eye because he's got my boy Drayton Farley open up for him now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so Drayton's got a new album out, and I just saw that Drayton said his newest album has clicked a million streams, which is a big deal.
Is that
for
the
him.
Outlaws tour or something like that?
It might be, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now I'd go, and if we want to find a spot and go see that show. I'm not saying I don't want to see the 4th of July. I want to, but I'll probably be at the lake. So, but if we can find a different show, I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go catch him. What is he? 99 now? 98? He's somewhere. Willie's 98, 99 years old, still kicking it.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Crushing.
Man,
yeah. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go see him again.
Yeah.
Get my times that I've seen him up to closer to 10. Yeah. I'd say I've 7 or 8 times I've seen him.
Well, he's doing
Heck
something
yeah, man.
right.
Yeah. What about you, my man? Where's your? You got your? Wait, I think we've talked about it. Are you a Bruce? Was Bruce your first?
Yeah. So my first concert was at Freedom Hall with my dad in 5th grade or middle school, maybe. The Born in the USA tour.
Hell yeah.
So I saw the Boss, and it set the bar so high. And I didn't realize it at the time how high he had set the bar. But Bruce didn't have an opener, and he just showed up and played 4 hours, 4 hours of just nonstop. And it's hit me a little bit here lately talking about my dad and the Boss, because my dad was just diagnosed with cancer, and so I went back. And I pulled that show, and the internet can help you do this these days. I actually pulled the set list from that show, and I was able to recreate it from, not those. I didn't pull that show, but I pulled live versions of every song he played at the show and put together a little playlist.
Oh, that's badass.
It is. It's really cool. So,
did you put it on CD? Did you put it on tape?
Well, that's what's funny about it, because I called.
Where do you put a mixtape these days?
Well, because the last time I talked to him, I was like, I put it together and I was going to send it to him.
Yeah.
Because it's a playlist, and so I did it on Apple, Spotify. So I called to find out, like, hey, how do you all listen to your music? I want to send Dad this playlist, and my stepmom Kathy was like, well, we don't really stream.
Yeah, we got an 8-track player.
So I gotta figure out a way to burn that thing to a CD and send it to him. I don't even have a way of doing that anymore. So,
does he have a CD player?
He does have.
He still has CD player. Or,
yes.
I was thinking, like, in my mind, I immediately went to like tape deck for some reason. I'm like, oh no, you're gonna have to do like a full blown mixtape.
No, he's got a CD player, so that's the next step. I'm gonna pull that.
That's a box set you got to make. CD player, you can get what?
That's right.
12 tracks on there. I don't know how many long.
Yeah, I should pull up.
Yeah, you got to for a 4-hour show. That's a box set you got to mail them. That's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, a three disc changer, man.
But I went back and looked at it, and I was curious, like, how did he open that show? And he opened it with "Born in the USA" and just pumping.
Oh wow!
No, he came out firing.
He did. Yeah, it was awesome. And going back and listening to it now, knowing. Like, he played some pretty special songs that I didn't even know at the time, but some unique songs. He did some cool covers. Anyway, the Boss is amazing live. If you haven't seen him,
I have seen him. I've seen him at the Yum Center with our good friend Samantha Williams. and that was a great show. And that was probably about 3 years ago, somewhere around there. But that's the only time I've seen him, and I think been to a lot of shows. So unless he played in some form of festival that I don't recall, that was the only time I saw him. But yeah, he's great, man. What a cool energy. That dude does not stop moving. I don't know that he put on, maybe when because how old is he? He's in his 60s, right?
I bet he's 70s.
70?
Yeah, he's
and
he's gotta be.
He did every bit of 3 hours, so nonstop. Just incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's back to the full list here. There's artists that you haven't seen yet that's on your bucket list. I've shared that on here before.
Mm-hmm.
The boss is mine. So the fact that you got to see him out of the gate.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's awesome.
Well, and he also fits one of the other prompts, which is what's the largest crowd you've ever seen. And I saw, like, the Bonnaroo main stage is the biggest crowd I've ever seen. It felt like a couple 100,000 people. I think it's more like 70, 80,000. But it was a massive crowd, and he headlined in 2009 when I was there. And it was so funny. It was like, you talk about a generational time gap. I saw Springsteen from the main stage headlining. And then as we're walking out of that, after that show ended, which he played, festivals, headliners in festivals normally, hour and a half, maybe 90 minutes? He was 2.5 hours even headlining Bonnaroo. Played into the night. It was amazing. But then walking out, we go to the side tent, and there's probably 40,000 people in this little tent, and it is a glow stick lit MGMT show. And so you're talking about going from the Boss to MGMT. It was a generational gap for sure, but it was awesome. That's the cool thing about festivals is you just see all walks of life and all types of shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sherman, I got to do Pearl Jam, followed by DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, we
on
did.
the beach. We rocked it out to Pearl Jam, and then
Pensacola.
We're gonna have a sacrifice, Pensacola.
Was Charlie Mack the first out of the limo?
I was curious though about your festival. So, like, because that's what I'm thinking about. Like, my largest crowds probably at a festival. But how do you differentiate who was focused on that artist when it's a festival and there might be a side stage? So, when you do that, like, I don't know. Mine was probably U2 at the Yum Center or at Papa John's. I went to the football stadium that Louisville plays in.
Yeah.
I went with Samantha again. We went and saw U2, and the place was packed. So I'm just trying to go back through, and I've been to lots of festivals, but does that count because it's certain people staring at this artist and then certain people staring at that artist, but they say the crowd is 130,000 people. Like,
I think different festivals do it different. Like at Bonnaroo, the main stage, the headliner, there's not much else going on when the headliner, at least the Saturday night headliner plays. And so that's when it's the biggest. And I've been to Bonnaroo twice, and like Widespread Panic. I'm trying to think of who the headliners were when no one else was playing.
Yeah.
And Springsteen.
How many numbers did we have that year at Bourbon and Beyond when Pearl Jam? That was a big number.
Pearl Jam was over 50,000. But I think to your point, the U2 number, I'm sitting here thinking, and I had to look back at the prompt. It just says the largest concert crowd you ever saw.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say necessarily it has to be for one band or not.
Yeah.
But to your point, that I never even thought about that. The U2, I was at that. You're talking about the one where they did the whole album, all the way through.
Joshua Tree. Yeah. It was great. It was great.
Who opened for them? Do you remember who that was? It wasn't One Republic, was it?
I don't recall.
I can't remember. Anyway, there's back to your point, that had to be 50,000 people. I mean, just if I'm thinking of everybody on the field, plus
in the state,
stands,
plus
and it was packed. I mean, you couldn't get it was sold out.
And that was at U of L's football stadium?
Yeah, at the football stadium.
So how did they have it set up? Because I'm kind of curious about these football stadium shows. Where was the stage?
It was at one end. Mm-hmm. It was at one end, but I think you could still go. I think they still had seating around the back. Like, it was at the end. It used to be the open end back when but the north end of the field. the north end of the field that is now closed in. That is the the Adidas end or whatever that is. It was pushed up to that side, but I'm pretty sure they sat all the way around it. But what's his name? Zach Bryan was just there, and he was in the center.
Yeah, they put him
and he did it in the round, and then you could go all the way around that crowd for Zach Bryan at that stadium looked like it was. He posted that it was like one of the biggest shows he'd ever put on, and thanked Kentucky and huge crowd.
Yeah, I talked to several people that were at that, and they said that now that he's sobered up, that he put on a hell of a show. And I asked about that, what that was like with him being at the 50-yard line, and because she was right up front on the stage, so that meant really only 25% of the show was he playing to them. But she said it was still a pretty cool setup.
Sound check sounded great.
That's right. We heard him.
Does that count?
Our whole crew. Well, there were only 8 of us, so you know, I mean, like that was the smallest crowd for a big artist.
The smallest show we've been to.
Yeah, for the listeners.
Yeah,
for the listeners at home, we had the episode about A.G. Gibson, soccer player for U of L women's soccer, and so we went the night before Zach Bryan just played in Louisville, and we're standing there watching the girls' soccer. And music's playing at the game, and we're like, this is like the 3rd Zach Bryan song in a row. We're like, man,
I just thought it was the playlist.
I did
I
too.
Thought somebody was,
Which
and
these
days,
like, not that shocking if Zach Bryan's pretty much on every playlist that you hear in public.
Well, then we finally catch on. No, the Papa John's across the street, and he's doing his sound check, and so we got like a free Zach Bryan show. So does that count? Have we gone to a Zach Bryan concert? Do I get to put that on my list?
I'm going to tell you. My son and I left at halftime of the game.
Yeah.
So we walked over and we're sitting there, and he, Langston's not a big music guy. I mean, that's not his thing. But he was like, this guy's going to sell that stadium out. I'm like, yeah. He goes, let's sit here for a couple minutes. Like, you know what I mean? We're listening to this for free.
Got to change.
Awesome.
Yeah. We got to change our hashtag though. Hashtag heard it live. We didn't.
Right.
We didn't see nothing, but we saw. We didn't. Yeah, well, we heard it.
Tangential.
I could see him on the monitor. But it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Which in some ways, some of the big festivals you go to, that's all you're seeing anyway.
Yeah, good.
But no, it was pretty cool.
So, so Sharon, what about you? So, what special live memory you want to talk about?
I'm gonna own it on the first first concert. I have shared this before, but it was at Louisville Gardens, historic Louisville Gardens. Had been there for this concert. I was 13 years old. I had to look back what this was, but this would have been my first show that I remember going to. And a buddy of mine had tickets, invited us. I was excited to go, so I'm gonna own this, but it was Poison. It was my first show.
Hell yeah!
Brett Michaels was awesome. It was a good show.
You ain't got to be upset about it. Like that was at the time you're 13.
When you're going Willie and Bruce, and I'm pulling up, Poison.
I don't know, man.
Not the same, and that's okay. It's all right.
At the time, though,
it was the Open Up and Say Ah tour.
Yeah.
I will say, 13 years old, going back in, I would have been what would that be? 7th, 8th grade. Walking back in, every girl wanted to talk to me about the show.
I guarantee you that.
That was a thing. That was like,
What'd you rock that night? Did you have some Asher Wash jeans?
Probably not.
Did you have long enough hair where you could get some hairnet?
I definitely did not. I'm gonna have to look back and find a picture. Wouldn't have been a good one. It was braces, glasses, the whole. Probably curly hair would not have been the best, but.
Yeah, Louisville Gardens, though, man, that's historic venue. I mean, Muhammad Ali's played there, basketball's played there.
Tuesday night wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wrestling. Yeah.
I could.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, Sherm, you and I have seen. I think we've all seen legendary shows at Louisville Gardens.
I saw the original NWA when they were still before everybody broke up. I saw NWA there before it was still the real Kwame. Oaktown 357, and NWA. There was like 4 or 5 bands. Oaktown. I'll have to think about who else was there, but but it was a hell of a show. Oof. And before they busted up, saw Smashing Pumpkins. Shout out Todd Patterson.
Yep.
We at least saw a majority of that show.
Yes, you did.
Before we were escorted
amazing
out.
rest of that show.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam played on the Versus tour. They played Louisville Gardens. Man, previous guest Peter Searcy was him and Starbilly played the festival in the gardens there, which was
I went to that.
Stabbing Westward, and one of the coolest acts I've seen, 16 horsepower. And then Starbilly was on stage with those guys. It was cool.
Cotton, we've talked about this. Neil and I were at that show. Were you with us?
Which show? With the
For
Peter Searcy?
the Peter Searcy, Starbilly, and
I know.
Stabbing Westward?
I know.
You were there?
I was at that show. I don't recall who I was hanging out with, but Starbilly.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them a bunch of times back in the day. So
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and manual class of high school manual 1991 class graduated from Louisville Gardens. So that was probably the peak, the best class to ever graduate from Manual High School.
Yeah.
1991 graduated from there. So hell yeah, great venue.
Ha.
Awesome.
What else we got on these hashtags?
Well, what about? Let's see. Let's talk about. Like
I said it right. Hashtags, right?
Yeah.
It's not the
Hashtag. It's probably
it's not
singular.
the pound. It's not the
Pound
pound
sign.
sign.
What about like an acoustic? We listen to loud music all the time. What about when things got real quiet and it was just a dude and his guitar? Any special moments with that?
I'm going to tell you guys right now, one of the coolest moments that I've had has been with you guys for Colt Winter Lepley in Owensboro. That to me, to this day, was one of my favorite just kind of experiences. The fact that you're kind of watching a guy that people are learning about your experience. He's clearly talented, awesome, and just a good person. Just kind of watching that, but I think just being with friends, watching that, and it was we had traveled to see him, had him on the show. I mean, just that was very special. Just a moment for me that I just awesome, and it was just him and the guitar. I mean, just him just rocking out.
I concur. That was good. That was a good show.
That was great.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Colt, man. He's I know he still listens to the show, and really appreciate him. And he's got some big plans. And I know
this year's looking good for him.
he's playing some festivals. He's got some good spots. I really expect big things out of Colt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the Palace for a show a couple of years ago, and it was a country put on by WAMZ, but it was our local country radio station. But it was 5 artists on stage, all playing. It was cool. It was like Parker McCollum, Randy Rogers, Wade Bowen. I'm trying to think of who else was there. There was 2 other Hauser. What's his name? Randy Hauser, I think. Anyways, they were all on stage, and then they would give like a little. They were all sitting on stools, and one would talk, give like a little story, and then they would play. Here's how I came up with this song, and dude, it was one of the best cool, like intimate shows, that I'd been to. Just real cool, personal, and that was a cool one at the Palace. And then the Palace is beautiful. That's a great venue to see any show.
Cotton, you a Randy Rogers guy?
Yeah, I like Randy Rogers. I like all them Red Dirt, Wade Bowen.
Yeah.
I saw them in Austin at what's the Stubbs? I saw
Stubbs
them
Barbecue, yeah.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw Wade Bowen and Randy Rogers at
Randy
Stubbs.
Rogers, interesting. So, like when I lived in Texas, and I've spent many an hour on this podcast talking about all the bands that I saw live when I lived there. And Randy Rogers was part of that scene, but he was kind of the new guy. So he was opening up for. I saw Randy Rogers so many times, but it was all opening up for Cross Canadian Ragweed or Reckless Kelly or Robert O'Keefe, or if they would have like 4 or 5 bands playing on a Saturday, he'd be one of the first to go because he was just getting started. And that dude jams, and he's probably made it bigger than a lot of them. So, because I know he's played some.
It was cool to get to see him because typically those boys stay within their little circuit and hang out in that Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. They kind of just run because everybody just loves them down there. So for them to come up here to Kentucky, that was pretty badass to catch them up here. But man, yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah, and he's I'm thinking his album Roller Coaster. He had a couple of songs he wrote with Cody Canada. I think he and Cody Canada of Cross Canadian Ragweed are pretty good buddies. So anyway, that's you talk about one of the prompts was the person you've seen live the most, and for me that is Cross. I didn't know who it was because when I was living in Texas, it was like Cross Canadian Ragweed, Reckless Kelly, Robert Earl Keen, Pat Green, like those. Every weekend I was seeing one of those bands or artists at some.
And how incredible is that? Just to be able to have that opportunity to go catch those bands every weekend.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going? Which Texas river town are we going to? Are we going to New Braunfels? Are we going to San Marcos? Are we going to Bandera? Like, it's just wherever you want to go. It was, man, I had no idea what I was getting. I moved there, and a friend of mine, a friend of ours from college, Brian Brenneman, was living there already, and he kind of took me under his wing and said, "Hey, man, listen to this whole music scene." And man, that changed my life. Like, because I still got their albums hanging on my wall from all the artists I used to see all the time there. It was cool. It was such a good scene.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Fun area.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Sherm, you have any small shows you've been to, like intimate? Well, you mentioned Colt, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as small shows, I mean, I think kind of looking back, there are shows that I saw at the brewery. So I worked at the brewery with Brian Bean, so we had bands that would come through there.
Yes.
And that was kind of cool.
Wasn't there a Nashville story of seeing Mookie Blaylock? Wasn't there some form of Nashville story that came out of Sherman's day of seeing walking by and catching?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
We got to see, but it wasn't Mookie. This was later on, but we got to see two of the. Actually, that's one of the prompts too. It was like the furthest you've ever traveled. I was trying to figure out if Pensacola. I probably need to look it up. If Pensacola's further than New Orleans, because those would be my two, I think. But went to New Orleans, and that would have been '97 for Pearl Jam. The Ramones opened for them.
Sweet.
And then later we saw them, and they were kind of playing at a small little spot that night. Two of the members, not everybody, and Vedder was not there. But anyway, it was fun. But the Ramones opening, that was that was like an experience and a introduction, I think, for me to more of the kind of the punk side of Pearl Jam and kind of where their influence of kind of everything. And that was during the Ticketmaster. I said 90. I think I said 97. Yeah. It was actually 95. Sorry about that. So, but anyway, that was the Ticketmaster where they were playing. They played in felt like a high school football field is the best way I can describe it, man. It was not a big spot. I mean, I had to go back and look at where we were, but the one thing I remember is driving down with a buddy of mine, Greg Staples, and got down there. It was just an amazing, awesome show. But the one thing I remember is Eddie Vedder singing and then dancing and spinning while holding the microphone with the cord. And I want y'all just to picture that. If you're holding a microphone and there's a cord and you're spinning, the cord wraps around, whatever, his legs. And so he fell into the into the drummer. And, so.
Was this Eddie Vedder climbing from the rafters, Eddie Vedder?
It was this was the first time I had seen them. This would have been a little, right at the end of that, I think. Was kind of he was still doing kind of crazy stuff, not at that level where he was literally, I don't remember him climbing across, the stage of the rafters, but still amazing.
And that was in what? And that was in what city again?
New Orleans.
Nolans. Awesome.
So that's one of the gigs. What's one of the pound symbols? They want you to tell hashtag. They want you to tell you the farthest distance that you've gone to see somebody.
Yeah. Furthest distance you've gone to see somebody.
So mine would probably be Bend, Oregon. I went to Bend and I got to see Willie. And I got to meet him.
Did you travel to see?
No.
You got family there.
I went to go see Aunt Lisa, and just by luck, he happened to be playing in town. And so, actually, I see Aunt Lisa and go watch Louisville play football. We went to go watch them play Oregon State, and then and then Willie just happened to be in town, so so we got to catch the Willie show, and then. But what about I went to Mexico one time and got to meet Sturgill Simpson, but he wasn't playing. But me and him got to hang out in the airport and talk. So does that count?
He got to hang out with you.
Yeah, that's right. Me and Sturgill. So that was a long distance.
Your relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do we think he has a T-shirt with you on it?
I bet he does. I bet he wears one.
Does.
I bet he does.
Johnny Blue Sky's got the shirt. He's got the Craig
Cotton
shirt.
If not, I'm making him one. I'm sure he remembers that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Miles Miller remembers it because when I talked to Miles Miller, his drummer at Bourbon and Beyond this past year, he was like, "Oh yeah, the guy with the T-shirt." So he thought that was funny, and so this year at Bourbon and Beyond, I got the Miles Miller with the me wearing the Sturgill Simpson T-shirt on in the picture. So I can't wait to wear that. Can't wait to wear that this year at Bourbon and Beyond.
Yeah. What? That's cool. Sherman, you were talking about the Punk and Pearl Jam. When I saw Pearl Jam, Iggy Pop opened, so they did.
Oh, that's badass.
They brought a lot of. They did that a lot, which is just cool.
So
best in shape old dude.
Yeah.
Bruce, Iggy, Flea,
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins, like those dudes are still fucking like in shape. Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't. What else? What else do we want to go? We could just talking live music here. I could go on forever. What about just like favorite memories, like that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I saw one of them was where you saw two bands and you got to claim two songs.
Oh yeah.
And I've talked about this before, but the crossover with hip hop and rock and that space. And that's where I was going earlier when I was thinking of 97. Wu-Tang Clan and Rage Against the Machine played together in Indianapolis. And, two bands that just bring it. And that's just like nonstop energy, screaming, as far as, screaming but with message. You understand the words. But Rage Against the Machine, Zach, I mean, that is just a whole other level. And then the Wu-Tang Clan, man. It was awesome.
So did that tour get cut short? So I think you were lucky to see them.
Yeah, I looked back and I was wondering about that. I hadn't gone down the rabbit hole to figure out why it got cut short, but I think there was only like 8 shows.
Yeah.
Like I was looking back at the lineups and different things that we got to see. Whatever that is, 30 years ago now, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I was trying to remember what songs I heard, right? Because you kind of, I don't know about you guys, but in my mind, I remember like 3 or 4 songs. Then I go back and I'll look at a set list. I'm like, oh yeah. I did hear that, and you kind of start picking it up. Or the other way happens if you don't look at the set list, you start thinking, oh, I heard this song, and it's like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You look at the set list, it's like, no, they didn't play that. How did it might have been the second time you saw them, or you saw it somewhere else, and it's just kind of the feel of thinking you saw something.
I feel like I remember being at shows with Brian Beam and him taking notes and like writing down the set list.
He does, which is a smart. At the time, I might have made fun of him, but now I'm like, that's a very smart thing to do.
Well, but I'm always impressed, like you do with Neil, you or Beam both. Like y'all be like, oh yeah, he played the 7th song. I'm like, how the hell do y'all? Like I just remember I was at the show, and pretty sure I remember, 60% of the songs that they played. But like when the next day, I'm like, well, he opened with this and he closed with that, and then I remember he played this song. But I'm always impressed with y'all's ability to memorize a set list. I'm like,
that's impressive.
Yeah. Like other people can remember like what shot they hit on the 5th hole of a golf course. I can't do that, but I can remember specific songs from a concert. Sure, you mentioned Rage. I saw Lollapalooza almost every year. It came through back when it was a touring festival.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. When was the one we went to? Sorry, not to.
Well, it might have been this one. It was. I see now. I don't remember what year it was, but Rage was the opener.
Yeah.
I think it was
the opener.
Yeah,
the opener.
Yeah. So at like 1:00 in the afternoon, you just hear this, and Tom Morello hitting his guitar, and I'll remember. I mean, because they were the opener, they probably only had 30, 45 minutes, and it felt like 5 minutes of just. Like that opening riff of Bomb Track, and it just they drug it out, and you could just feel the energy at like 1 o'clock. It was hot out, and just feel the energy building. It, to me, I think I even talked about it on my Twitter feed as one of my favorite memories is that, and like starting off and like setting a festival up, or just a long day of concert out at like an amphitheater. I'll never forget that moment of rage just slowly building up, and then boom, and then the mosh pit hits, and so cool.
I can actually picture that of just the build up of it, and especially at 1 o'clock, and people are walking in, and immediately if I'm walking in at 1 o'clock and I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on here, I'm going to go over and check out whatever, and then you hear that, you're running to the stage trying to figure out, okay, I got to get as close to this as possible.
Yeah,
that song, yeah.
And I think that lineup was so stacked. I think Tool was on the side stage of that show.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man. Y'all have any other Lollapalooza? I know, Cotton, you went to a few of those, didn't you?
I went to a bunch. Yeah. But those are hazy days for me. So, you're so that's just a big blur. But they were. I have like flashes of Lollapalooza. So yeah, it was that was a little more of my wilder days. But there are tons of festivals, live shows. I'm trying to think of like just epic. It's still my favorite show is still, until it gets topped, is going to be Sturgill at the Palace doing Sailor's Guide. He did the album front to back. That was, you and I were at that show. Just.
I think a big part of that concert, Cotton, was the seats we had. I think because we were like on the first or second row of the balcony, which was perfect for that show of the Palace.
Yeah, yeah.
Balcony seats at the Palace are underrated. I think. I mean, especially if you're up there, I think they're underrated because I think you get the view, you get everything else, but you also you're in the crowd. Like you get the feel of all of that too, rather than. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could be up first couple rows of the whatever that's called, the orchestra or whatever section, up there, that's one thing. But I love being in the balcony. It's a good spot.
Is there a hashtag what's coming next? Is that on there?
Yeah.
Is there,
that's one of the prompts there's one
on
of
radar?
them. It's like what's on your bucket list or who
bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're headed off to my work conference this next week, so this is not bucket list, but somebody, 3 artists that I wouldn't like particularly go buy tickets for, but I'm like, well, they're there. It'll be fun to check them out. But we're getting Carrie Underwood, Keith Urban, and Hardy. I know nothing about Hardy, but but I'm like, all right. So those 3 artists will be playing for us at our conference here coming up here in about a week. So.
You've had some pretty cool experiences.
Oh
in
yeah,
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah. They've had some. We had Snoop, and we've had there's been a whole bunch. Hootie a few times, and Trace Atkins. We've had a whole bunch of them.
It's cool when you catch a corporate event that's
Weezer.
a good concert.
Yeah, Willie a few times.
Weezer.
We saw Weezer a couple of years back. That was awesome. Right when they were coming back. Yeah. Right when they had just but yeah, I went this week to a few vintage T-shirt shops, and so my plan is the whole week I'm going to be wearing throwback '90s country. So I've got me an Aaron Tippin T-shirt. I got a Alan Jackson. I got a Garth Brooks. I got a Travis Tritt. And so I'm going to be rocking different throwback '90s. That's cool.
I went back and looked at what's the oldest concert T-shirt you have, Sherman. I pulled up. This is from my Bonnaroo 05.
Oh, nice.
But that's about as old as I got.
I did have, back to that 88 show, I did have at one point the Poison open up and say T-shirt. But it was like a medium. Yeah. There ain't no chance of that working. I have no clue where it is now, but it was the tongue. If you remember the it was
from the album
before it got banned. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. But there was just that, and then Poison. But
I got one I wear. I got one I wear every summer. That's my tankless or my tank top. That's from when we went down to the beach. It's like one of my favorite tank tops that I wear, and it's got the whole lineup and and watching the show in Pensacola, and I've got that one. I still wear that one all the time. And then I did in my basement because my basement's wide open and we have it bounces sound around. I made a bunch of squares that I wrapped in historical like T-shirts that things that I've gone to, the kids' ball games or U of L or concerts and so I probably got 35 squares that I've got on the ceiling, that have historical concerts and things like that on the ceiling. So it's a cool way for me to save some old T-shirts where if your medium doesn't fit you no more, Sherman, you make you something that you can put it on a wall decor.
That thing's probably worth something. I have no clue where it is. It's probably not. If it's at my parents' house, it'd be great, but I don't think it's probably got tossed out. But I've got the 03 Pearl Jam Lexington. I bought a shirt there. But it's falling apart. Like the neckline is almost gone.
Hell yeah!
So it's going to end up being it's going to be one of those type things. I got to figure out something to do with it.
Yeah, the Springsteen concert I went to, I remember rocking the sleeveless white T-shirt with the American flag and Springsteen playing on it. It was the same one that was featured in the Dancing in the Dark video, and I didn't keep it. But I'm at I don't know, Old Navy or American Eagle or something, and they're selling remakes of the shirt. I'm like, oh my gosh, the concerts are coming back to me in freaking Old Navy.
Yeah.
Did you have the red bandana in your back pocket?
Dude, I was in. Heck yeah, man. Hell yeah, I had a red bandana. Not in my pocket though, man. Boss wore it on his head. And
I thought it's in his. I thought in that album picture, the album cover, it's in his back pocket.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is right there.
Yeah.
No, that's a baseball.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's a red baseball hat.
Oh, is it? All right.
Yeah, but he wore the bandana in the Born in the USA video or whatever.
For folks listening, just a quick thing here. Neil just pointed. They just happened to have the album on the wall behind him. Of are there any albums you don't have on the wall? That's probably of anything we've talked about. Maybe Tool is the only one that didn't make the wall this time.
Yeah,
around.
I did try and prep it with some live shows that I've either been to.
That you've been to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, when I was doing my T-shirt shopping this week, one of the vintage stores I went into, and I didn't scoop it up, and I'm upset, and maybe I need to drive back out there and get it before it disappears. But man, they had an Alice in Chains jar of Flies T-shirt.
Your mouth.
$35, and
Shut up.
Dude, it was legit. And I at the time I'm focused on like '90s country, and I was like,
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it since I walked out of that store. I'm like, why did I not?
And you think that's an original, not a reprint?
It had the poison rubbed out collar, that was starting to wear on it. So it's been worn.
Wow,
it was legit, dude. It was legit.
So we're talking live shows before we wrap. Like, what about some of the best live albums? Because you mentioned that Alice in Chains. I mean, obviously Jar of Flies, one of my favorite albums of all time. But the Unplugged that he did might be my favorite live album out there.
Yeah, that whole time when MTV was putting out the Unplugged, that was so much fun. I wish they'd do that again, and we could just have like a weekly show or something. Yeah.
Well, back to your acoustic question.
Yeah.
I mean, that for me with Pearl Jam. I mean, and I hate to keep bringing them up every time that I talk, but I mean, it's my group. But that was one of those moments where you think of them as like hardcore, like rock, that type. They're not hardcore, but hard rock.
Yeah.
And kind of follow, and then they bust into acoustic stuff, and it's like, this is awesome. Like, this is the way I want to hear this again.
So good. Pearl, yeah.
Nirvana
Unplugged. What about the Counting Crows? They got the Across a Wire, where they had the VH1 Storytellers one, which was super quiet, unplugged, and on the same album, just a different disc, you had the more plugged-in version of all the similar songs. That's one of my favorites, too. And I like Counting Crows just because every show you go to, I've seen them 5 or 6 times, like every song for them, when they play it live, is a different version of that song. It's like a unique version, and Pearl Jam's got some of that, too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Counting Crows coming to to Bourbon and Beyond. That's going to be That's going to be awesome.
I can't wait because I think they've got some renewed energy. Their newer album's really good. They've been touring more lately.
It's going to be a 90s night. That Sunday night at Bourbon and Beyond is, we talked about that before, but that's going to be great.
Yeah, can't wait, man.
Yeah, coming up besides the Texas Roadhouse conference, I've got Railbirds coming up fast in Lexington. That's going to be a 2-day great show. We're going to go camp in Bolivar for 2 days at the horse park and get to go to the rail, and then later the summer or back end will be Bourbon and Beyond. So I need to probably start lining up something else because I don't think I have any other. Oh no, I got Bruno. I got Bruno in September.
Yeah.
I got Bruno coming up in a week or two here, and I had to park those tickets up. We had family things come up, and so I had to gift my Bruno tickets to Nashville away to friends. We had some things pop up that unfortunately
you worked hard to get those too.
I know I worked hard, but it's all right. It's fun to give other people tickets to a show and know that they're excited. So our good buddies are going to run down and take those tickets from me. So,
Shane and I are going to be in Nashville next weekend, and anytime I'm there, I'm like, who's going to be there? And
that's when we're going to be there.
I'm catching Nicholas Jamerson at You Should Come With Us. It's
what night is that?
Friday night.
No, okay.
And he's at the Basement, which is like a little 200-seat venue. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait.
Huh.
How about it? Road trip.
I'm in. Well, we're already going to be there Saturday and Thursday.
Hey, a little Southern Hang. We'll do a little episode from there. From Nicholas Jamerson.
Buddy.
Let's do it.
We're in.
Awesome.
We're in.
We already
Can I still get tickets?
I think so. I just bought ours yesterday. Just found out about it.
Buddy. This is a thing. We can do this.
Here we go. Sherm.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Are you going to be in Nashville? You want to come with?
I am not going to be, but listeners, this is Southern Hang
news.
on the road.
Yeah.
On the road, come to Nashville, check us out.
And I'm sure that
what's the exact date of that?
There's listeners that are like, oh, if I had the chance to get to meet Neil Wilding, that and now I know he's like when I got to know that Sturgill Simpson was in Mexico and I freaked out for like 5 days. I'm sure there are people that are like, wait, I get to meet the Music Man in Nashville, like. Yeah, meet us Friday night, the Basement, live, signing T-shirts.
I think
Neil
the
Wilding.
cooler opportunity would be to see Nicholas Jamerson live at the Basement, but I will be there April 24th. It's Friday, April 24th.
Come on out, gang.
I'm booking it.
Jamerson, yeah. Sherm, any final thoughts before we put a wrap on this?
Hey, stop! You just get out and see shows.
Yeah,
live
just go see music.
Go see music. If it's cover bands, live, just original artists, whatever it is.
Yeah, somebody at the local bar.
Go support live music.
All of it.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, your
catch
5-year-old. Your 5-year-old playing the kazoo in the basement.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, see it.
Yeah. I do. One last thought. So I had a work meeting, and I was talking to one of the guys there. He had flown into Louisville, and he was making sure he had to get back because his son, who is 11 years old, is in a band called the Skulls. And the Skulls were playing the talent show, and they're playing original music. And he sent me a link to a video of his 11-year-old rocking out. So shout out, Mike. Your boy jams. The Skulls rock too. So that was a cool show. Cotton, you got anything else to say before we wrap?
If you're 11 and you play your own show and that's your first show, is that your first concert you've been to? If you were the 11, has he been to a show before that? Like that'd be a cool stat. Like, what was your first live concert? Like mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah. I loved
it. Hell yeah.
I was amazing.
Haven't had a better show since.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it's worth tweeting about because it's badass. So
yeah, that is badass.
Right.
Shout out to the Skulls. I can't wait to get a T-shirt.
Yeah, shout out Skulls. Shout out the good part of Twitter for giving us a reason to reminisce. This has been a fun episode, fellas. Appreciate you going down this walk with me. Listeners, always special. Appreciate you tuning in. And until next week, we'll see you later.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Later, guys.
Be good.